keep developing. This is non-stop. Taking full control of your thoughts, your energy, everything. It's 100% up to you. It's like, sometimes I complain about slavery and etc. being an employee, but in reality, control is far more than just dictating the service that you render. For example, working a job is one thing, but what about the time that I'm not in a job? And that's something that I have to keep top of mind. I have to realize that there's a major spread between the time that I'm not working and the time that I am. So I have to utilize those moments effectively. And it starts with controlling your thoughts and realizing that the ultimate power is self-control, and self-control is exercised with your thoughts. And then from there, what you do with the thoughts. Do you follow up on them? Do you take action on them? Or do you just let them sit dormant? I don't think that's the right word, but do you just let them sit and never act on any of your thoughts? I'm about to pull up to one of my favorite spots. It's just chilled. It's tucked away. Not a lot of activity. It's real silent in terms of activity, and its risk. The risk level is fairly low. So far, I've hung out there 3-4 times, and nobody fucked with me. So I'm gonna go hang out over there, eat my food, and keep growing, keep learning more about myself, keep realizing more about me through documentation, through also like listening to other people. Like, I'm not gonna front. Yeah, I talk about the power of documenting, and what goes in must come out. But there's a phase where you have. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of what we know right now came from somebody else. And it's more about building on it than trying to reinvent. It's just building what already is and learning what's the most effective way to approach based on people that have the credibility and have succeeded. From a practicality point of view, like, what is it that I'm going to do to render services? For immediate income, I will continue working a job, and continue working a job, just making money through a job. From a business point of view, continue investing and documenting and helping people through bringing awareness to things that they would have never known, or even if it's something that they knew, put it back in front of their mind so they could have that social confirmation that is something that they really could do. For example, e-com. I strongly recommend individuals to. That's something I haven't done, but yeah, that's something that I have to get done. Is actually, if digital marketing and email marketing is something that doesn't really pique your interest, then the third link, I should make it the third link. I'll put in parentheses the words e-com so you know which link it is, but tap on that link if you are more tangible, if you are the type of person that actually, like, you want something physical, you want to actually distribute and provide service by selling something physical, then I'm going to provide a link below so you can get enrolled in a course that's going to teach you the fundamentals of building a an e-com store with proper structure and the marketing behind it, the psychology, the tools that are going to be required for you to build an e-com store. And like I always tell a lot of people, it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be overnight. But simply becoming aware of different ways to generate income to me is powerful. One, I became aware of different asset classes when I was just a lot older. Not that it's impossible, because there's people that are older than me that became aware of this and started to build, and it's possible. For me personally, I think it's important to it's important to still work a job. You know, don't make the mistake that I did. Becoming aware of these new ways of making money, of these truths, and then just abandoning your ultimate breadwinner. I did that out of pure excitement and ignorance, thinking that simply becoming aware of this was going to yield me results. Nope. You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to take time and educate yourself in it. But, you know, you could skip the homeless process. You could skip that and at least start educating yourself in that space. Whether it's digital marketing, email marketing, or building an e-com store. This is only the beginning. I believe this is really early in terms of the possibilities and the amount of ideas that are out there that simply needed guidance, proper guidance in order to execute. If investing in the stock market is something that piqued interest to you, go ahead and comment in the section below as well, or send me an email at ourtheta@gmail.com, OURTHETA@gmail, and I'm more focused on the cash flow side of things, and this would make more sense to somebody that has, well, it really is anybody, but from a generating income perspective, if you have over 50,000 to invest, the returns from a month to month perspective look better. It's still going to be 2 to 3%, 4%, but when you only have one trade that's yielding that amount, and you receive that credit within 35, 40 days, it doesn't seem like a lot. But if you are sitting on a lot more money, instead of just sitting on that money, start cash flowing that money. Start pulling more out of it instead of just waiting for a particular stock to go up in price. Send me an email with your account value, how much you actually have to invest, how much experience you have, and I'll go through the basics on how is it that I can help you cash flow the stock market, how to pull money month in, month out of the stock market. Super simple. It's like riding a bike. Once you learn it, it's a wrap. Like, it doesn't require a lot of, not like day trading. You're not gonna have to freaking be in front of the computer every day. It's actually quite boring once you understand it, but boring is good in the market. You know, excitement is pretty much in direct correlation to the risk. If you're excited or depressed, it's because you're risking a lot. But if the positions you're in are boring, that means that the risk level on it is low. The probability of you receiving the full premium, in this case the selling put option strategy, the probability of you being exercised the stock or even having to get emotionally attached to these positions you get in is rare, because you're not playing volatility. A lot of the movement in a specific stock doesn't really affect you as much as it would if you were long on a stock. It would, 50K plus really, for me at least, 50K plus is really where the income starts to make sense from a month to month. point of view, and I'll do the math right now. So 3% of 50,000 is 1,500. And there's some people that like are sitting on cash, or they just put that in the stock market and trust that over the long term the SPY is going to go up, which it will. Again, I can't guarantee that, but there's a strong probability that it will continue to go up in price. But being able to pull out 1,500 month in and month out, when I say month, give it 38 to 47, 48 days. Every 40, 30, 37, 32, it depends on when we enter the position. And that makes a big difference. And that's only 2 to 3%. That's not even talking about the flip side of it, is selling the opposite side of that trade. So yeah, with cash flow in the stock market, it's something that I could not teach you to be a master in, but for sure get the ball rolling, show you the basics, give you some live examples of how I do it, what I've done, the results I have, and get you in a position of cash flow in the stock market yourself. Some people may have a 401k. Just by knowing these basics, you're already applying principles and you're taking action steps in your own portfolio that whoever's managing your account is not applying. And the fees are not going to be anywhere near what the fees are if you're paying somebody else to do what you can learn to do yourself. I will take on a few clients. But that's only going to be to the right people. For the most part, the goal is to teach you how to do it yourself. Yes, dude. When I left today, I was like, damn, it feels real good. Like a little breezy. When I left the house, sure enough, I still feel it. Freedom is the ultimate goal. I think about the amount of people that have so much money, but they gotta continue performing for it. Now, I'm not saying performance is bad, especially if you like what you do. But if you could learn how to cash flow instead of spending, that's another thing. Like, a lot of us, we've been conditioned to just keep spending. Like, we just spend. And if you got over 50K laying around, which I know there's a lot of people that do, but they just spend it. We're taught to spend. Or we're taught to just invest it broadly without the education behind it. I'm about to enjoy my meal. Damn, I knew I should have fucking asked for a spoon. Oh, there's one. Thank God. gonna listen to an audio as I eat. And just remember, nobody's gonna care about you as much as you. Nobody's gonna care about your finances as much as you. Nobody's gonna care about your future. Nobody's gonna care about your health as much as you. Granted, everybody's always gonna say that they care about you and they have invested interest in you, but that means, I think, I've never really defined it, but that pretty much means like they're profiting somehow by making you better or worse. And for the most part, like, don't get me wrong, there's people that are out there, they got businesses to help you for the sake of making their pockets bigger. But there's also people out there that want to help you learn how to make money yourself. And teach this skill set to your family. Damn, that fucking bitch, man. I tell him. Anyway, it is what it is. I tell him, well done on the onions. It's the fucking second time. Anyway, it is what it is. Fuck. Not even close. I don't know about, like, I think that shooting stars, to me, they indicate that you're at the right place at the right time. Yesterday, I saw one here. Just looked up and I also believe that, like, if an animal passed by you on the road, on the highway or something, and I think that shit's like, those are, I don't know if signs, but this is just cool. To me, it's signs like you in the right place at the right time. The fact that you're aware of it or noticed it. Because that shooting star, like, it was available for so many people, but I'm probably like the only person that saw it.
They're calculated. You just have to develop an ability to read a woman's actions and see the latent purpose behind them. In contemporary times, men are far too ready to write off women as irrational agents. Even Freud was fooled by the hysterics of women's responses and wrote them off as largely incapable, random, and duplicitous to their own interest. I can't begin to tell you how frustrating it is to hear an elderly man say, "Women, I guess we'll never really understand them, huh?" adding a nervous laugh. How many times have you been asked by a friend, "So, did you get lucky with Christy last night?" We don't think much of this passing question, but it's framed in such a way that men autonomously perpetuate the myth of this mystique. It's not luck that gets you laid. I understand that circumstance, And being the right guy at the right time most certainly plays a part. But that's not the operative here. However, if due to our preconditioning, we feel as though we got lucky, we won the lottery, or walked away with a rare and valuable prize, it doesn't help us to understand what it is we did correctly in a given instance. It perpetuates women as the mysterious prize givers and ensures they maintain an indirect, primary power role in embodying the prize that is feared to be lost. You were lucky to have gotten sex with this mysterious woman, so it must be something rare and valuable indeed. The feminine mystique discourages questioning the process or the motives involved in intergender relations. Men are just happy to have had the chance of experiencing the unknowable woman they scarcely understand. When mixed with sexual deprivation, the lucky fate element makes the sex that much more absorbing. It's this luck precognition from men, fostered by women, that leads to the scarcity mentality and often, but not exclusively, one-itis in men. It serves the feminine if men willingly adopt the feminine mystique mindset with regards to their intimacy. Sexuality is a woman's first, best agency, and any social mechanism that contributes to the value of it will always be encouraged. The wall. Throughout this book thus far, I've made references to the wall, the point at which women lose their competitive edge in the SMP, sexual marketplace, to younger rivals. The following was contributed by irrational male commenter S. Her comment regarding the wall made me aware that I hadn't yet gone into much detail regarding the wall and its socio-psychological effects upon women. Yeah, it's a term I have seen before arriving at this blog, but have never heard in reality. I always attributed it to a woman losing her looks, but to place it at exactly 30 seems to me to be too precise a calculation, as there are many variables to be taken into consideration, I would imagine. For example, a party girl, serial tanner, and smoker could probably lose her looks long before she reaches 30, whereas a clean-living late bloomer might not even realize her potential until her mid to late 20s. I've seen women from my school, the most popular girls with guys, change the most in a negative manner, and the nerds or just the most unexpected girls have become more attractive over the years. It's freaking odd. Technically, the wall was a sports term used for athletes who had reached an age where they lost their competitive edge. The infamous wall a woman reaches, or slams into, as the case may be, is somewhat of an ambiguous term that was actually coined by catty women long before the manosphere came into existence. It used to be a relatively less combative term that women used for one another in an effort to disqualify an intrasexual competitor. A woman implying another woman had hit the wall was marginally more polite than calling her an old slut. But the latent purpose is still the same, disqualifying a sexual competitor from men's mating considerations. The fear of decay. Underneath the obvious utility of the wall,
I'm not gonna front, like, something that has helped me is, well, again, just reading this or listening to this changes my whole focus when it comes to trying to bag girls. Granted, I'm not gonna front, like today I seen a girl that was walking to her car. I could have struck ice. I could have struck conversation, broke ice. I didn't. That is just me being a fucking like a hesitating prick. Cause she was cute enough to get the dick, but I didn't say anything. I still will have to keep taking action. There's no substitute for that. And if I for 1 second think that, I'm just gonna wait till I accomplish X amount of success, that's when I'm gonna start hitting on girls. That's gonna just put me back from a confident perspective. It's gonna bring my confidence levels down. It's gonna be harder when I do decide to do it. But I will continue putting more emphasis and focus on me in general, just making money. And it sucks because right now I'm in a position of, I thought about this morning, like, I'm too reliant on like one source of income. And I'll be talking about this. I've talked about this for a while, about the importance of having more than one. And I a lot of what I learned from this book is not is new from a like putting it into words, but it's not new from me experiencing it. Like I understood the effect of this, how powerful it is to have multiple, and I really understood it, through experiencing it. I just started to catch on, but I really understood it once it didn't work anymore. Once I wasn't operating in this system anymore. Once I pulled away from being a dog, if you will, what girls call a dog. Well, I realized how powerful it was for me to have options. I realized the leverage I had on the girl I was with versus when I didn't have any. Like when I literally pulled myself away from my association and just took myself out of the sexual marketplace, whether directly or indirectly, the attitude, the shift, everything just began to change. And I'm sure that from a physical point of view as well, I cared less about my appearance. It's like it's a bad thing, but for me at least, I don't know. I didn't care as much. I felt like I had everything, right? Like I didn't really care about trying to look good. For before that, I would always do my thing and take care of myself. Whether it was directly or indirectly for bitches, I'm sure it had a big portion to do with it. It's like you going out there, you got bitches to impress. But when you have one, you like, man, I don't gotta fucking do nothing for this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Or not even just that. It's just you feel more comfortable. It's the unforgiving word. The unforgiving word is you feel comfortable. And I got really comfortable. I started to, in my head, thinking that I got her. You know what I mean? There ain't no way. But little did I know that there's a performance-based system that men have to keep up with. That performance-based system is literally the same as when you work for a sales company. Is from hero to zero. You gotta fucking work. And when I say work, I'm talking about work on different pillars consistently. Whatever the girl's main interests are, you gotta keep working and grinding and working towards that. Or you could just focus on yourself and skip the bullshit and just keep developing you and live your interests. Because you have no other choice. Like, at the end of the day, if you don't have nobody else to impress, you got yourself, and then it's our duty to make ourselves happy. But yeah, I remember noticing from the major transition. Once I stopped having options in my life, I realized the amount of power that I lost, the amount of control that I lost, the amount of control that I lost over a lot of people, women especially. And the point of me continuing to share this is I shouldn't give a fuck about nobody else, but I don't want nobody to be put in that same boat. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest advantages of an existing world is that people have already made mistakes. So why the fuck go through them if you could prevent them? Like, time is something that we legit can't get. Time on earth, we can't get that back. We could relive moments, we could meditate and go back to a place in time, but physically reliving it is impossible. And there's a lot of things, a lot of events that could be prevented. A lot of events that could be prevented. I'm at peace now. I'm at peace. I feel good. But I also feel like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind smashing a girl right now. But I wouldn't even know where to start when it comes to living with a girl again. I wouldn't know where the fuck to start. And I don't want to know. Like, at the end of the day, I'm good. I want to have options and just build, you know, put myself in a position of ultra strength. From a confidence point of view to an options point of view to an income level, all of that, man. Just put myself in a position of strength. And a lot of it stems off of money. It's rooted from money, you know. It's rooted from money. Because I think, you know, control is something that comes from money. If you have money, you have more control over things, over events, over situations, over decisions. If you don't get your money right, it's tough to be in control of stuff. And one may not even be aware of the amount of control that a woman has, or even anybody has over you when it comes to the amount of money. But there's always somebody, a person in control knows. You know what I'm saying? Like the person in control knows. And I share this stuff because, again, I'm confident that you know, it wasn't just not known, you know. Like, I remember when I was on my prime, I would say I had bitches on lock. So I knew. So I know that when a bitch had me pussy whipped, she knew. But you don't go around communicating. I wasn't telling all my girls, bitch, I got you on lock. No, just was what it was. And I'm going to continue bringing awareness through phases. You know, it's not going to be a topic forever, but I'm still not even done with this audio. This is still my first time around, and I'm on chapter, I don't know what it is, but it's the feminine imperative. And at the end of the day, you know, there's another perspective, there's another approach that I could take when it comes to just living. I could just say, oh, fuck this, I'm not going to learn about this, and just put my head in the sand. But number one, if I take that approach, that's just me acting like what is happening isn't real. Like, choosing not to prepare myself for it. And if I don't keep learning about this, by default, my initial desire is to bag women. And I already know how I am. And I would be duped into thinking that, and compromised into thinking that, oh, you know, go through them, and once there's one that meets all my needs from a physical perspective, I just tend to compromise. It's like nothing else really matters, but that's a position of weakness. And that's what it's called, one-itis, is, you know, putting myself in a position of weakness by just cutting out all of my choices. There's so much freedom in having options. There's so much freedom in not allowing a girl to live with you, or you living with a girl. So much freedom. It's pretty much the same thing. You living with her, or her living with you. I was just listening to the, you know, part of this audio book, and by the way, the book is The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi. But it's like don't ever sign a fucking lease or a contract. You're pretty much married with a girl when you do that for that year. You're pretty much saying that you are signing to not fuck no other bitches. Now, granted, I know there's a few people that are savages and they still find ways, but the amount of, it's just, to me, it's not worth it. To me, it's just worth being free and living your life like a single man. Now, one of my weaknesses right now is just the fact that I don't have results, but I'm also not putting in the work in terms of meeting girls and going out in the marketplace and sharpening up from a dress perspective. Assuming all things go right, maybe like the second or third time that I come back from a home time, then I'll buy me a decent little outfit and just go out somewhere to a bar and drink some water or something. Just hang out, buy a girl a drink. And put myself out in those environments, because something that I became aware of as well is I had this mentality. I had this like loser ass mentality, thinking like, oh nah, that ain't me, you know, clubs ain't me and shit. And I even wrote something. I was like, fuck going to the club, I'd rather own it. But it's like, I'm being too just stupid as fuck, just stupid as fuck. Especially where, that's another thing that works against me, is a lot of times that I meet girls, I get mad at my results. But when I get practical from a numbers perspective, if I was to analyze my results, it's not bad. Again, I don't know what they are. I haven't counted each girl I met versus me actually closing. But from a numbers perspective, I'm pretty confident that it's not bad. I just get frustrated and I magnify the no's. But especially the fact that, like, I meet a lot of girls that I meet in the marketplace, like, not drunk, not in a club, out and about, either a store, gas station, work, if I'm working. And like, I could trick myself into thinking that, those are the best type of girls, but no, man, those same girls be in the clubs. Girls just love to have fun. They just love to fucking have fun. And 9 times out of 10, when they go out to the club, it's to look for some play. Rarely are they just going to dance and have fun. Like, they're usually looking to connect with somebody in the world with. Some will front and try to put up this big show, like, niggas is thirsty. They act like they can't fucking chill. I can't just go out with my friends and dance. It's like, bitch, you're marketing yourself for a reason. If you just going out to dance with your friends, you wouldn't go out of your way to look as bad as you do, unless, what the fuck, you looking to impress. And I get it. There's gonna be arguments like girls just like to get pretty for the sake of it. And that's bullshit. Most girls get pretty for niggas, for somebody else, for attention. So I don't know. I have had bad experiences in the club too. I didn't go much, but the times that I did, that's a part of my decision making, I'm sure. Now I speak about it is like, I used to get tight. I'm like, bitch, I remember getting rejected a lot in the clubs. And that shit was frustrating. It's like, yo, why you out here? In retrospect, I'm sure I didn't have that. I don't know what the fuck it was. But yeah, I give myself this excuse, like, nah, that's not my scene, etc. But if I go in there with the mentality of the hunting mentality, like, I'm just looking for some play. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking for some play. I think I'll do a lot better. So I told myself I'm gonna do this. Home time for sure, but I also don't have to wait for that. There's a couple things that I have in mind too, specifically, that I have to transition my belief about it, because I keep thinking like I have to come back to the house to do it, but in reality, all I gotta do is just park the truck and test my skill set in different states. I don't gotta do this shit just here. Actually it's better, because that's one thing. I'm not big on, like, I hate like the same place. I don't know, it's something about me. I hate the same place. I feel weird, and it's all me. It's not about the place. But like, I hate when people know me, that once they start picking up on my habits and shit, I'm like, all right, these people know me. They know what I'm gonna get. It's like, all right, that's enough. I'm going somewhere else. God damn it. It's kind of cool sometimes when you walk in and they they know, but when they start picking up on your habits and shit, I don't really fuck with that. So, and I don't know, I think about it like that from a club. It's like, I don't know if I want to go to a club that's like right near. If I was to go to a club, it wouldn't be near where I stay, pretty much. I'll go at least 30 miles, 25, 30 miles away from my home. I don't know, it's like, I remember when when I left out of the country for the first time, like, there was something about me just trying to connect with bag chicks that were within that community. I was like, I'm good. There was some cute girls I passed here and there, but I ignored them. But when it came to just leaving that vicinity, got on the bike and just checked out other spots, I was more open to just strike conversation with any girl. So it's kind of a behavior pattern that I feel better with. I'm about to continue hitting play, but at the same time, if you're in a position of just straight, not getting results, straight loser. You know what I mean? Straight loser. Bummy, look, got a hole in my jeans. No style, none of that. Learn to get your money right. Number one, because I could at least admit that one of the reasons why I'm complaining about this is because my money ain't right. I'm not moving how I want, bro. Like I should have already hit well over 100K. That's way more in my bank than 100K. That's sad that I'm not even close to that. Sad to me. That's just fucking sad. So the only person that could do something about it is me. And before you put yourself in a position of thinking that it is you, I mean, just focus on the money. Just keep growing and focusing on the money. Of course, you're gonna have to develop in other areas. You're gonna have to learn about yourself. You're gonna have to be fit, just for your own sake. It's gonna be beneficial for you to just stay fit. That's one pillar that I'm not gonna say I'm missing. I'm not buff, but I'm not out of shape, which is a benefit. I look good. But one thing that I'm lacking is the money. The money. I don't carry myself like I got money. I don't really focus on the looks side, like from the like appearance, like buying clothes. And I definitely don't walk around like I got a lot of money, because I don't. And yeah, man, just what I was gonna say is hit the link in the description below and start learning how to make money outside of a traditional job. That's why I started this way. It was like the fact this morning I was upset because it is what it is. Things happen, but I was so excited to go to start working, and then things changed. So it's like that's it. Like all of my plans, everything was relying on that one thing. But if I was on a goal, if I actually had mission in my life, if I was a mission-driven person, that wouldn't have affected me. In fact, that would have been better, because I would have been excited about working on my project just as much. So like that affects that's something that I'm realizing. I'm awakening to that reality myself. Is like, bro, all right, cool, but nothing should stop me. Like nothing should stop me, and that's a matter of you being excited about your own goals and projects, and always working on them. For me, documenting has been a major pillar of my life, like getting to know myself and being an example to the world by doing it, by looking foolish, by looking good, and sometimes but also looking foolish. I see the bigger picture in it. I see a bigger picture that nobody will see until I accomplish it. But this is my project. This is my life. This is my project. There's a lot of things that I see that it's hard to explain. But one being, the amount of time, I'll just speak from my own point of view, is when I get upset at the fact that I'm like this morning. I was just watching a lot of YouTube videos and back to back and back to back to back. I'm like, okay, enough is enough. Like I keep emphasizing the importance of you growing and developing and learning yourself, and you can't really dig deep into who you are, learn yourself, if you're watching somebody else. So I document myself, and sometimes this is all doubt, because at the end of the day, who's to say that this isn't valuable? It's not. It's valuable to somebody, and even if it isn't, it's valuable to me if I choose to learn from it, because I'm experiencing me. I'm actually present in my own moment versus somebody else's. Now, granted, there's activities that I like, there's things that I like to do that are fun, and that would ultimately lead to a better life, is taking action and not just talking. I'm cheap. I'm cheap. I don't like to spend money. I do, but not with the way I make it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm working for money, I don't be wanting to spend money like that. Like when I'm actually trading my time for money, I don't be trying to spend it like that. It's tough for me to just, oh yeah, let's go. Versus if I'm making it different, like if I make my money different, I care about it less. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at. I just gotta keep improving my financial position. That's a pillar that I gotta continue building on, and partnering that with the education on the psychology behind women, their moves, and what they do. And not again, I gotta continue emphasizing. Although sometimes I come off as a negative fuck boy, like this nigga. No, it's not bad. It's just we gotta know, we gotta understand the game to be able to reposition ourselves. That's all. Just reposition ourselves. And uh, they say we're all equal, so let's make it an even playing field from a knowledge perspective, right? That's what they want. They say we're all equal. So, all right, cool. Well, let's at least share the information that's on the opposite side, because it seems like, at least to me, it's true. It's like women is. I have heard that before. I have heard that you'll never understand when women, they're so complicated. I don't think they're as complicated as we seem. They just create complications so they're not understood.